Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Sunday, August 8th, 2021. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So do not focus on your situations and circumstances. Focus on what is good. You will be more happy and more filled with joy if you focus on what is good. So focus on what is good. If you are out there traveling about, make sure you are wearing your mask and using your hand sanitizer. I always remind you of that because I care. We are still in the middle of a pandemic and we all have to do our part to stay safe. Keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. If you would like to donate to this podcast, you can donate at Cash App, $SB Favor. I thank you so much for your support. And I have a co-host here today. Her name is Angela Cephas, which happens to be one of my closest friends. And we're going to talk about the power of thoughts and some random stuff along the way. So, Ange, what's up today? How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself?
Well, as I always say, I'm moving right along. I'm here. It's a good day. You know, I'm thankful. I have a birthday tomorrow. And yeah, I'm thankful. I have so much to be thankful for. You know, it's so easy to just think about all the crazy things that are going on. But if we focus on the things we want to happen, then guess what? We'll be in a better place. So we're going to talk about the power of thoughts. Last week, me and you were talking about how when you focus on something, you have the ability to bring it to pass. Right? We were talking about that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, we sure did. And it definitely, I will say that it has changed my thought process.
Okay.
And I've been listening to a doctor called Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm not sure if I might have butchered his last name.
That's correct.
But he's into like this whole like cognitive thinking and like staying in the moment and meditation and everything like that. And that was one of the exercises that you and I were doing for the week.
Yes.
And I will say that it definitely has given me a different perspective. I have, I've gotten in touch with my breathing. Getting up in the morning, right before I start, working, I pray and I go through like about a 10, 15-minute meditation, and I listen to one of his interviews or he's speaking about what we were doing all week, and it really like I just got in tune with just my breathing, just got in tune with a lot of just getting into the positive energy, and it's more about energy than anything. And it just gave me a different insight. It really did.
Yeah.
And I feel really good. I feel really good about it. And I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah, the power of thinking and having the right thoughts plays a great part in how you feel and just everything around you. Sometimes, unfortunately, when a person has a bunch of negative thoughts, they don't realize that they are actually creating negative energy and negative activity just by a thought. So that's one of the reasons why I always talk about thoughts. Last week, me and you were talking, Ange, about how we need to make some changes in our life. So we agreed together to have a daily meditation on just the power of thinking. So that's why you decided to listen to the doctor. And of course, I have my own daily routine that I follow. But the power of your thoughts and what you think can bring something to pass, something you want and something you don't want. So it's so important to control your thoughts. I know sometimes a lot of us, we go through different things and you could be bombarded with different thoughts, but you have the power to control your thoughts. You don't have to just sit there and just allow all kind of negative thoughts to just go through your mind and just just bask in it. You don't have to do that. So talking about this topic is really personal to me, and I decided to talk to you, Ange, about it on this episode because I hope that somebody can just grab something from this information that we're about to share with them. So let me ask you this, Ange. What was the change you saw in yourself when you focused every day this week on just thinking positive? What was the change you saw in yourself?
I think I was more at peace. I was more at peace. I really didn't fall into the trap. I call it trap of anxiety, the trap of the stress, the trap of worrying about what other people's opinions or how they feel or or what they may say or whatever like that. I just didn't get caught up in it. And if it did occur, I definitely made sure that I didn't stay in it, because I think the problem for me is that when somebody says something that's out of line, or out of character, or just kind of like out of the side of their neck, I will run with that.
The side of their neck.
Yeah, I would run with it, out the side of the neck or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I would run with it. I would run what they say and analyze it and flip it and just go through the whole motions of it, and then and then get myself all revved up for what?
So you're saying that
at the end of the day, they said what they said, and they moved on, and I'm still caught up in what they said.
So
you know what I mean?
So basically, what you're saying is that when somebody says something to you that was not good, you didn't allow yourself to take on that energy.
Exactly.
Right. So because of your focus,
what, and it did happen. It might happen a couple of times. Normally, I'll go through. I either go tit for tat with that person, or I will, just get all caught up in it. And I didn't. And I just went back to, I started saying, I started giving myself positive affirmations, saying, I'm worthy, I'm blessed, and then I'm grateful, and just being thankful, and then I started journaling again. And then this time when I journaled positivity, because I have two journals. Right. One journal that I have was I call it my bitching, complaining journal. Just writing down stuff that just irritated me, bothered me, whatever. The journal that I have now, because when I got the book, I said to myself that this book would just be strictly for being grateful and thankful.
Right. So the power of your thoughts took control of of something that could have been negative. And so that's the key. Absolutely. That's the key, is to have a focus every single day, maintaining the right thoughts throughout the day, so that when you have some type of confrontation or something that you have to deal with, some type of situation or circumstance you may not be ready for, if you are practicing maintaining the right thinking, what happens is it enables you to have the right reaction. So the power of your thoughts is very important every single day, to have a focus on what you want to happen versus what you do not want to happen. And so tell me about another place, according to just you having positive thoughts, and how it shifted another area in your life during this week. Because all this week we both agreed that, okay, we're going to be very, very mindful of what we pay attention to. We're going to be very, very mindful of how we feel, right? We talked about that.
Right.
We talked about how we're going to be very mindful of our own spirit, our own energy. So tell me another place where you saw a shift. And then I'm going to tell you about where I saw a shift in my life. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think just in being in the household,
Mm-hmm.
I think because I've been more interactive,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with other members in the household,
Mm-hmm.
laughing, you know,
Right.
having, you know, conversation, positive, you know, just having good conversation,
Right.
you know, and not speaking of anything negative.
Right.
Just basically having just good conversation and just interacting with the kids, you know, in the house and
Mm-hmm.
and the adults in the house, and not staying locked up in my room,
Right.
which, you know, when my son passed away, I kind of got caught up in that whole grieving, and I still am grieving, but
Right.
it's more so I'm doing it in a different way,
Right.
and I'm not getting caught up in just being in the room and being just consumed with just staying in the bedroom and not just interacting or shutting people out, and I'm letting people in.
So you had more joy. You had more joy.
Yeah, I have more joy. Like, you know, I have more joy. I just feel, I just feel better, like being around people. As before, I didn't want to be around people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think my energy really bounces off of other people. I notice that everybody seems to be in good spirits.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that energy affects energy. Energy bounces off of each other. So if someone in the household has a negative vibe, that vibe, if you allow it, especially if you're going through your own mess,
Right.
I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
that negative vibe can take on it. Plus with you, whatever you have going on.
Right.
So
Right.
then everybody in the household is feeling negative and energy is off.
But also,
You know what I mean?
also you got to remember this. It could be one person in the atmosphere that's thinking positive and that's projecting something positive. And if there is a negative vibe in the atmosphere and somebody else might be negative, the power that you possess, being that one individual, to be positive and to think positive is this. When you recognize that there is a certain spirit / energy in the room, what you can do is you spread it. You spread that projection of the positivity that you have. You spread, what you are experiencing. And the way you do that is how you talk, how you interact. Because some people would say, oh, well, I'm just going to run away from it. But guess what? If you project and possess something that's good and something that's positive, others should partake of that. We can't always just say, okay, well, they acting crazy, so I'm going to get away from them. In some situations, yes, we do have to get away.
Right.
But I would say and encourage somebody that's listening right now that if you are the one that's projecting positive energy, then share that. And I say that because of this. There are people out there that's suffering from depression. There's people out there that's going through all types of different situations that they don't share with others. And if you project positive energy and if you are thinking positive and you're one of those people that you're just carrying a good positive presence, then share it with others. But that's awesome, Ange, that you recognize the shift because you've been consistent all week. You've been consistent. I've experienced some changes as well. I normally maintain a routine of prayer and meditation and all the positive stuff, but specifically this week, because I was in agreement with you and we were communicating that each morning, I recognized that when I got up each day, I was excited. I was excited, more excited. And I noticed that, okay, maybe from me being excited because we were in agreement through prayer and just carrying out our meditations, I was thinking, we should pull some other people into that circle. What'd you say?
I think that's a good idea. I think it's definitely, because it's all about energy.
Yes.
And it's all about of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if people see something good in you, and they see how you're living, and they see how you wake up every morning,
mm-hmm.
and it's not about, I heard someone say that you when you wake up, you shouldn't wake up like, oh God, like what's going to happen today? You should wake up like, what can I bring to this day?
That's right. Yes, indeed.
Like, what can I bring in? What can I do and bring into this day? Not look at all the negativity,
mm-hmm.
that
mm-hmm.
we always think about. Like, we think about, like, because when I used to work, in
mm-hmm.
when I used to drive to work,
mm-hmm.
The first thing, I would think about is traffic and, what the weather was going to be like and,
right.
And how the supervisor was going to act today, or
yes.
my coworkers were going to be. Am they going to be in a funky mood? That was always the energy that I lingered on from the time I got up to the time I got dressed to the time I got in the car to the time I drove in the traffic to the time I got to work.
Yes.
And that was always like, and then of course all the other things that went on, that I allowed to rent space in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But this time around, I just feel like if you wake up just excited about life.
Yes.
And just excited that, when I wake up, the first thing I say is thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Me too.
Just to be grateful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is just to have the attitude of gratitude.
Right.
It's just like, it's awesome. And I think when people start seeing that, because a lot of people, when they look at, when people are too happy, they
mm-hmm.
think something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
They think something's wrong with them, that they're something they ain't right. Because I used to be one of them people.
Yeah.
I used to be one of them people, like, something ain't right with them. Oh, here come Sunshine Susie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because my daughter said to me, she said, yesterday we had this long conversation. She said, Mom, sometimes when I go through something, I know you're going to be motivating me and pepping me up. She said, I know that's what I'm going to get from you. She said, I know that when something happens, you're going to just build me up. She said, but sometimes, Mom, I just like to have a moment. I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean by that? She said, Mom, I just want to be able to cry if I need to cry. And I just want to be able to scream if I need to scream. So I said, you're absolutely right. I said, you know what? I said, you are absolutely right. And she said, Mom, there is a balance that we all have to have sometime. And I want to say this. The balance we have to have is being human, but bouncing back. And that's what I explained to my daughter. I said, the reason why I'm the type of person where I'm always motivated is because I've been through things in my life where I had to learn to bounce back quickly. So when I see other people going through things and I knew and I recognize what I've gone through, that way I'm able to help somebody else to bounce back. So I said to her, I have my moments where I just get frustrated real quick and I get upset real quick, but I don't sit there and bask in it. So I said to her, so that's the balance you got to have. You got to know, okay, let me express myself. Let me express that I'm frustrated. Let me express that I'm upset. But don't stay there for no 3 days. What you think about that, Ange?
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that was the difference with me this week, because normally I will stay on something, and you know me. We've had conversations about a lot of things that I went through, and I went through it for days, weeks, months.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And
I've been there too. I mean? Yeah, in the past.
And and of course, I'm not saying my feelings aren't valid, because they were.
Right.
But to the point when is enough is enough. You know what I mean? When are you going to wake up and be like, okay, I need to move on from this. I need to, like, live. I need to breathe.
Right,
I need to not allow this to suffocate me. And I think that's what I was doing. I was allowing different situations and different people to suffocate me, and I wasn't able to breathe and live.
Right.
Yes, we all have a right to feel. I'm not saying don't feel, because that's not normal. That's not human.
Right.
You have a right to feel, but what you hit the nail on the head is not to bask in it, not to live in it, not to dwell on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can go through it like you, and see, you can go through your feeling, but make sure that you bounce out of that. Because once you stay there, it's so hard to get out there. Get out of there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I just think that what we have to do as people is we have to know that there is a better life, that we all are on this earth to live on purpose.
Yes.
Whether it's the person that is homeless on the street, or whether it's the person that has the billionaire. We all have a purpose in life. Right. And God, I think, has brought us all to commune with one another, to lift up each other, to build each other, for us to be in a better nation of love.
Right.
However, we don't live like that. A lot of us are still caught up in things of the past. And one thing that I'll address in as Dr. Joe, because I'll butcher his last name, is that he was one of the meditations I was listening to. He was talking about one of the interviews. He was talking about how we live in the past.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So every time we go into the past, those same emotions and feelings affect our present.
Exactly.
And so how can we move on? Because we're still living in the past. We're still thinking about that person that left us, that person that hurt us, that the job that fired us. All those things, we're still living in that past. So we can never get over it. We'll never get over it because we're still reliving that pain, that feeling. And another thing he mentioned something about the energy. Mm-hmm. We go on feeling.
Yes.
We should, and we really need to. It's all about the energy that we feel. Like when I was meditating the other day, I was meditating, and I was meditating about money.
Mm-hmm.
I was meditating about money. It was one of my meditations about financial abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came out of that meditation, when I was in it, I could feel the gratitude that I had.
Right.
And then the smile. And then when I came out of the meditation, when my meditation was over, I just felt like I had what I had meditated on. Like I had it. And I think that's what he was talking about. Like, we all live in a sense of lack. So when you live in a sense of lack, you're going to be lacking. So you have to, it's like a game, he said. It's like you have to pretend that you already have what you want.
Well, the key thing is this. The key thing in everything is to make sure that you are projecting the thought according to how you want to live and who you are. You're projecting that thought. You are walking in that thought. You go to bed with that thought. You wake up in that thought. You shower with that thought. That is the key thing. So when he was talking about that, that's what he was saying, that it is that you're walking in the noun of what it is you want in your life. It's not you're going to have it later. No, you're walking in it now. That's why I said there is power in maintaining the right thoughts. Some people say, oh, well, being positive and thinking, trying to think all the right things all the time, that's just like fantasy. No, it's not fantasy. It's not fantasy at all, because every single day when you project the right thinking in your day, throughout your life, what happens is you are repelling all negative energy. You're repelling it. You are repelling it away from you, because you are projecting all that is good from within you, out of you. Everything you say, how you see. It's not a fantasy to just desire what is good and to project what is good. That's not a fantasy. And when you project what is good, it's not like you're walking around in denial, like certain things aren't happening. You can acknowledge that, yeah, there's a certain situation or circumstance happening, but you don't have to live according to that. You don't have to function in it.
What it is that we all, if we all tap into that, we all have that. We all have that joy. We all have happiness. We all have it. It's in us. We're designed to have all these things. It's just that we don't see that because we're so caught up in what the world thinks and what's going on in our particular situation. So if we're lacking something, we're lacking money or we're lacking love or whatever, we don't realize that we already have it instilled in us.
Well,
we just have to tap into that. We have to tap into that joy, into that love. All the fruits of the Spirit. We have to tap into that.
Well, people, sometimes...
Because a lot of people think it's hocus pocus.
Yeah, people sometimes, what it is that people, and I don't want to cut you off, but I got to keep the clock running. People are shaped according to how they were raised. That's the thing. Yeah. People are shaped according to their experiences. People are shaped that way. And because people are shaped that way, according to how they think, what it is that people have to retrain themselves on how to think. Even the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what the Bible says in the book of Romans. I don't know the exact address, but it's in the book of Romans. But God himself says that to us. And the reason why God says that is because the only way to understand him, according to who he is to have a renewed mind. See, some people don't even understand God because they don't have a renewed mind, right? So the key thing is this. If many of us are intentionally living to strive to have a renewed mind, guess what will happen? You will have a renewed life. And so a transformed life comes from a renewed mind.
Right.
When you change your thinking, then you can change anything. When you change your thinking, then you can change anything. A lot of people have different types of relationships and they say things like, and I'm saying this because I was having a conversation with my nieces yesterday, and people say things like, oh, well, they did this to me, they did this to me, they did this to me. But the question we should ask ourselves is this. When the other person does something to us, we need to ask ourselves this. How am I reacting to it? If somebody does something negative to you, does not always mean that you should have a negative reaction. Because guess what? If you're thinking the right way, you can have a reaction that could possibly heal them from their negativity.
Right.
Your words can be healing to somebody else. Sometimes you might go into the grocery store and you might come in contact with somebody that has a really nasty, bad attitude. Most of us will just respond back nasty because, it's like fight fire with fire, right? Well, if you're thinking the right way and that person is treating you nasty, guess what? If you're thinking the right way, you will have the ability to see why that person is treating you nasty. It may not be because of you. It might be because of something that they're going through that has nothing to do with you. So
I think it's about really also having compassion with, like you said, just having compassion with other people because you don't know what they're going through. You know what I mean? You don't know what they're experiencing or what their challenges are. So if they react in a negative way, there's a reason why. Like you said, it has nothing to do with you. It's just the fact of what they are going through. You just seem to be that person right there that they're taking it out on.
Exactly.
So I just feel like, I'm going to stay on this journey. I've been here before, and I'll tell you that. I've been here before. I've done this before. I think my approach in the first time that I did this was different. I guess I was expecting things to happen like ASAP.
Yes.
And the thing that with this is about consistency.
Yes, it is.
It's about being consistent and practice.
Yes.
You know, it's not going to happen overnight. And I think when I did it before, you know, based on just the research and the materials that I was, you know, in reading and researching before, I think that I was thinking that things were just going to happen like boom. And it didn't. You know, some things will, and some things won't. But you still have have that same attitude of gratitude, regardless if it does or if it doesn't.
Well,
and
you know,
so this time around, around, I just feel that, and one of the things I did, and I'm going to say this, is that I had a vision board before. I had a vision board. Like, I created a vision board, and I may start that. I mean, I have a vision board in my mind, and I sometimes go through my phone and have different images of things that I want, you know, and it doesn't always have to be just financial abundance. It's more about peace, you know.
Yes.
So I just think it's about really being consistent. And I think with us, everything is so microwave. We have a microwave lifestyle. Everything is so fast. I want it right now, here. You know, I want it here right now. And so that's why a lot of people can't get into it, because the fact they want it right here, right now.
Well, you know it has everything to do with intent, you know, because when you have the right intentions about your life, when you have the right intentions about your relationships, how to be a good parent, how to be a good mother, cousin, sister, whatever, your intentions will make you want to think and have a more powerful thought life. Your thought life is your entire life. This is not about stuff. For me personally, it's not about stuff, because the stuff, you know, God is going to always bless you no matter what. But the key thing is this: if you are purposely, intentionally waking up in the morning, desiring to have a better life, to be a better person, it starts with how you think. You know, you can never go wrong when you are intentionally practicing every single day, trying to just think more better, more healthy, more right in your thought life. You can't go wrong with that. And so this is why I wanted to talk about this topic. And I'm going to continue to talk about it on different episodes of this podcast, because it's very important to me. I believe that the right thought life can produce a better life. So, Ange, is there anything else you want to share?
I don't. Maybe I had a dream. Just real quick, I had a dream the other day. Just about, I was having a party, and there were people that were present that were living at the party, and then there were people that had passed on from my family that were in my that were in the dream, and it was really like it was really profound. It was like real surreal, and it was there were people that I had never thought about that popped up, you know, that were in this dream, and what I gathered from it. It just gives me like just a different perspective of just my life, you know, that my life is meaningful.
Yes.
And that I just have to continue. I think with the meditation that we were doing all this week, I think that just opened up. This dream just opened up another door,
right?
For just allowing me to be connected with the universe, to just be more in tune with myself and my surroundings,
right.
And you know that's pretty much it, you know. So I don't, you know, really know how much, but I think that the meditation this week, I think it opened up a channel.
Yeah.
So I just was really grateful, because when I woke up from the dream,
right,
I was smiling, and so it gave me gratitude. And I think this whole process is just giving me gratitude and just being grateful for where I'm at in my life.
That's awesome. The dream revealed something that was purposeful, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, listeners, I thank you for tuning in to listen to SB Favor Thinking podcast. You are greatly appreciated. You all have been such a blessing to me. And I thank you for taking time out to chat with me today. And I want to have you back so we can talk about some of this again. It's very important. Mm-hmm. What you say? It's very important.
It's very important.
Yeah, we got to do better. And in these times that we're living in, we all need to be thinking more healthy. We have to, because if you think right, you will stay in the place of faith. If you think right, you will stay in the place of joy and peace and hope. So on that note, I thank you again for tuning in. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sbfavor. I also have a YouTube channel. Please click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also, please click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there is a new episode of SB Favor Thinking Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and you have a good day.